anything other than more Corruptors coming from KHB right now. He has not expanded yet, so if this expansion for TeamEG stays up for much longer and he is able to start mining again as natural, we could see KHB in a tough financial situation here. And as he is starting to lose the attacking force here, these Infestors all most likely being out of energy just about. That one has about 75, 28. Yeah, so a lot of these Infestors getting pretty low on energy, so not going to be able to cast as much in the fungal growth or the neural parasite, although there is more Corruptors coming in right now. These Corruptors taking out, they do a lot of damage to anti-air. You can just see how quickly these anti-air units go down to the Corruptor attack. They are just fantastic for dealing with Vikings. I've used them very, very effectively against battle cruisers, and they are also great against carriers. And it looks like he is morphing a couple more Brood Lords here. And again, just frantically pumping infantry out of all of these barracks. He has a total of 6 barracks here, it looks like, just constantly producing, and a lot of Infestors from KHB right now. This is definitely one of the most unique strategies I have seen in StarCraft 2 yet. And he is using the abilities of these Infestors extremely well. Between fungal growth and neural parasite, he has just been able to do a huge amount of damage. And again, using that burrow capability, although it looks like he has got, TeamEG does have scan ready. Unfortunately for him, though, he is not able to take him out before the Zerglings and Brood Lords clean him up. There is another Viking out, which is doing a lot of damage, and the Infestor does cast Neural Parasite on it again, so able to take that out of the way. And it looks like he is doing a lot of damage to this expansion. TeamEG constantly having to repair it, and it looks like he is wasting a lot of money just trying to keep that expansion alive. He does still have a lot of mining up here, which, now that I think about it, I'm not even sure. No, okay, KHB is aware of it. He's just decided to go for the heart of his enemy's base rather than trying to go for the expansion that he just put up. And it looks like throwing out a bunch of infested Terrans now, just trying to do some damage with these. I have actually never seen infested Terrans used in a game even. So this is definitely one of the more creative games I've ever seen played in StarCraft 2. These just infested Terrans getting spammed out here. You can see they have a very short life and they don't do a huge amount of damage, but they can be fun to play around with. They didn't seem horribly effective, but definitely something I haven't seen done before, so that was kind of neat to see. And it looks like KHB is starting to go for the expansion that that TeamEG does have on the right side here, and TeamEG has pretty much lost his expansion. He does have the orbital command here still, but there's no SCVs mining, and it looks like KHB finally putting down another hatchery of his own and just continuing to spawn Zerglings. And let's take a look at what else is on the production menu here. We've got a couple broodlings. You see those popping around because as the Brood Lords attack, if you haven't noticed yet, when you attack, these Brood Lords spawn 2 little broodlings that continue to do additional damage with the attack. They also, again, have a very short life. You can see their life draining very, very quickly, and not much attack and only 4 damage per hit. But if you've got a handful of Brood Lords, that damage can add up very, very quickly. And it looks like these Infestors are burrowed again, although you can tell with the 120 hit points that they have and 0 armor, they just die so quickly, even if they're burrowed when they got scanned. And the Terran player just frantically trying to keep the Zerg player out of his base. And it looks like he was able to hold off the attack at his expansion, but he still does not have his natural expansion back up and running with mining again. And KHB sees that as he gets Zerglings up into his base. Most of the Infestors at this point have been killed off. KHB still has 4 Infestors, which you can see one of them hidden there, so he does have a couple of them burrowed throughout TeamEG's base. I'm not sure where the other 2 are, but it looks like he is trying to keep an eye on what's going on in TeamEG's base with those burrowed Infestors as well. And it looks like TeamEG is starting to mine at his natural expansion again, throwing down a mule there. And KHB, for the time, has stopped streaming units into TeamEG's base. So it looks like he's going to take a minute to macro up here, get his new expansion up and running, and start to spawn some more units. And there are more Corruptors coming out, so it looks like he's going to stay with pretty heavy on the Corruptor Brood Lord mix, although I do not see a lot of Infestors from him. He does have these 2, plus the 2 that we saw hidden in TeamEG's base earlier. And if we take a look at the production overlay here, we can see that he is producing one more. So that's going to be a total of 5 Infestors. I'm not sure if he's planning on producing any more at this point. It seems to have been working very, very well for him so far. Although with more Vikings coming online here, it's going to be difficult for those Infestors to support his Brood Lords because the Brood Lords do not do any anti-air damage. So he's going to need to keep more of these Corruptors in play rather than going for the heavier Brood Lords. And another fungal growth, going down, and you can just see how effective that is against those Marines again. That ability is just so awesome. That is my favorite Zerg ability right now. The new Plague for Zerg in StarCraft 2. Anyways, moving up in here again with some more Corruptors and Infestors and one Brood Lord in the mix. And these Vikings are going to try to focus fire down, and it looks like that Brood Lord is going to go down, but more than enough Corruptors here to take care of those. And it looks like he is going to be forced to burrow these Infestors while he takes care of these Hellions, because these Hellions were trying to focus fire down the Infestors. And he has now converted his command center into a planetary fortress. So this planetary fortress is going to be very instrumental in keeping this base alive, especially as he is trying. This is the base with the most minerals in it right now, I do believe. Yeah, because his main, again, is mined out, and his natural is very low as well. So this is going to be the base bringing in the primary income. He is going to need to expand again if he wants to continue to mine and stay in this game. Looking back at KHB's base, he is mining his second expansion now very heavily, and still got a lot of spine crawlers. And I do not see a whole lot else going on in his base other than that. If TeamEG could manage to get out some Banshees for harassment, he could probably do a pretty significant amount of damage, because not a whole lot of anti-air. And I don't believe I saw any detectors from KHB at this point. So, and actually, you know what? I'm going to take a look at the units overlay just to see if he does. And he does not. He has 13 Overlords, no Overseers, and I didn't see any Spore Crawlers in his base. So he has no detection. So a couple of Cloaked Banshees could do a significant amount of damage. And again, the Infested Terrans coming out. This has just been such a crazy game to watch, because I've never seen Infestors so heavily used. I'm definitely going to have to try this build out at some point just to see how it works, and if I've got the APM to keep up with it, because this is a lot of spell casting. And of course, he's trying to micromanage with anytime you work with units that are specific anti-air or anti-ground, and you have to keep track of multiple units doing different things like that, it requires a lot of APM. Speaking of which, if we can take a look at the APM overlay, you can see here the current APM for KHB between 150 and 200 bouncing around, and his average is right at 130. So again, very high APM build, and KHB does seem to have the APM to keep up with it. And it looks like he's putting down another expansion here, although TeamEG is aware of it, because it looks like he had an SCV over there about ready to take that expansion himself. So he is going to be aware. And TeamEG GG's though. He cannot hold off these Infestor attacks anymore. That was a fantastic game. I have never seen somebody use Infestors so effectively. I cannot say enough how impressive that was, just to see the creativity in this game. And I just think that KHB has been a great player. All of his games have been fun to watch. I enjoyed this game a lot, and I hope you guys did too. Thanks for watching, and GG.